The women from The View, and as you can tell by my face, I have disgust when I think about them. Yeah, they have our favorite gal ever, just kidding, Kamala Harris on, and they pretty much just butter her up and pretty much are just in love with her and go full lesbianist mode on her, and they talk about the border and Trump's campaign rhetoric. It's annoying, but you guys love The View content, so we're gonna get back to it. By the way, guys, thank you so much for watching my YouTube channel. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe. I post 2 new videos every single day, and let's get into the video.
First, let me say that I like candidates who show up for interviews. Just saying.
Just saying. Can you already tell that she's going to be biased against Trump? Okay, why would Trump go on The View? Literally let me know why Trump would ever think it's a good idea to bless these wenches with his orange presence.
You know, we all know the background of the guy. Is a convicted felon, okay? A big-time loser, has been pretty...
He was actually Hollywood's favorite person ever up until he decided to run for office as a Republican. I mean, Kamala's very popular in the hoe community and in the powerful men community that like to get their peepees, you know, gobbled up by trash.
Open about his plans, if elected, to stack D.C. with loyalists, going after the media and comedians. How threatened do you have to be to go after comedians? He wants to do some mass deportations, which really is a throwback to the 30s. A dictatorship by any other name. This is what he is planning. People are saying this could be the closest election in a century. I personally cannot understand why anyone would vote for him. A lot of it is, I think, he's getting bad information. People.
Of course you can't understand that, and because you're a biased old hag.
Getting bad information from other channels. But do you have an explanation for this at all?
Well, let me just add.
Let's hear it, Kamala. Let's hear it, you freaking hoe.
Your list. I mean.
We don't listen. It's only an hour show.
Exactly how much time do you have?
Twice impeached.
Including, he has said he would terminate the Constitution of the United States.
Yeah.
And Joy, here's what I'd say. Look, I just recently did an event with Liz Cheney, the former Congresswoman.
I know.
Her father, the former Vice President, Dick Cheney.
This is where Kamala Harris is going to gloat like, hey, I'm working with people across the aisle. Like, look at Liz Cheney. That's a warmongering hoe. Why would we want you to work with her? She's like the worst Republican. She denounced Trump. She hates Trump so much. She has such a bad case of Trump derangement syndrome that she's willing to work with you. She has no character, no loyalty, and the Republican Party, we don't want her. We don't claim her. Bye-bye, yatch.
Cheney has supported me.
Unbelievable.
There are over 200 former members of both Bush presidencies, John McCain, Mitt Romney, who have endorsed me.
Right.
Leading thinkers in the national security space are supporting me.
You mean paid off hacks?
And frankly, one of the things that I'm very proud of that we have done collectively is we really are building a coalition around some very fundamental issues, including that we love our country.
Right.
And that we have to put...
You love our country so much that you're importing other nations and their problems into our country, taking away American jobs, and they're literally, you know, abusing women, children, and animals.
But country before party. We have to...
Shut up. Shut up.
Agree about the sanctity of the oath we take to defend the Constitution of the United States, to support the Constitution of the United States. And I do believe the closer we get to the election, the more that people reflect on what's at stake. Including the fact that the former president tried to undo the will of the people in a free and fair election on January 6th, led what was a violent attack on the United States Capitol. 140 uniformed law enforcement officers were attacked. Some died. I have seen from people who are former Trump supporters who are supporting me that that was a bridge too far. And back to the point about even the hurricanes that are the one that's about to hit Florida, what has already hit, I think people are exhausted. And they're exhausted with the lies, they're exhausted with the selfishness, they're exhausted with the attempt to divide us as Americans.
I'm exhausted with your constant spreading of your legs, the dividing of your legs. You want to talk about dividing the country, bitch? What about dividing your legs?
And they're ready to turn the page and chart a new way forward.
Yes.
And I feel very optimistic about that.
Okay.
Well, Madam Vice President, when you were here last,
Let's hear it from the Trump trader.
asked about the border, which remains a top issue to voters. Yeah. And as you rightly pointed out, the former president blocked the strongest border security bill in decades. Yeah. But there remains this perception among voters that the Biden administration dragged its feet and waited too long to act to address the border crisis. Can you speak to why voters may feel that way?
Sure. Well, first of all, to your point, when we first came in office, hours after we were inaugurated, the first bill we offered, before infrastructure, before bringing down the cost of prescription medications, it was to fix our broken immigration system.
Right.
And it never got taken up, in large part for political reasons, because solutions are at hand, and we need to fix the problem. Then, to your point, a bipartisan...
So how do you fix the problem? What do you propose?
Group of members of the United States Congress, including some of the most conservative members, work together with our support to craft the most serious and strong border security bill we've seen in years. Yes. Donald Trump got word of it and told them, don't put the bill up for a vote, because he didn't want a solution, because he preferred to run on a problem instead of fixing a problem. So then we had to do, in addition to what we've done since day one in trying to strengthen the border, we took further action in terms of executive action. We have seen illegal immigration reduced by half, the intake of fentanyl
Oh, you're starting to stutter, probably because you're lying.
Reduced by half. But ultimately, if we want a real fix to this, Congress has to act. We need, for example, in that bill, we would have put 1,500 more border agents at the border, which is why the Border Patrol supported it. I went down to the border, and let me tell you, these border agents are working around the clock. They're trying as hard as they can. They need more resources. I have personally prosecuted transnational criminal organizations for the trafficking of guns, drugs, and human beings. I have taken on the cartels. I've prosecuted the cartels.
What, you sucked the cartel off too?
I understand the serious nature of this issue and the need to fix it. And solutions are at hand, but again, Donald Trump prefers to run on problems instead of fixing problems. He's not solution-oriented. And again, I will invite people, if you really need to know how he thinks, since he doesn't do these kinds of interviews, watch his rallies. He spends full time engaged in grievance about what has happened to him.
Right.
He spends full time perpetuating lies and misinformation.
I mean, I'm going to cut off right there, because you know what? He has a right to be upset that, you know, maybe he's been treated unfairly. I don't know how much I can say on here, but obviously the liberal media hates him. Everyone, the Hollywood, everyone's turned their backs on him. He's like the most hated person ever, but also the most loved, which is kind of funny. And, you know, the 2024 election was shady or 2020 election, sorry, was shady to say the least. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Of course, the View hosts have to gush over Kamala. The hoes love fellow hoes. Thank you so much for watching.